G'day, freedom lovers. How are we all today? So we got a very unique show today. We are going to have a yarn with some elders about some very critical things that are happening throughout the continent here. I'm not going to even try and explain too much. I think it's best that they speak and explain what's going on here. I want a big shout out to all the newbies who've been following and whatnot. Big shout out to the conspiracy theorists at Channel 10 and Townsville Bulletin. The last time we had, an Indigenous guest, you guys were pretty disrespectful. So hopefully you guys have, perhaps become better human beings since then and, won't be conjuring up wild conspiracy theories about our guests this time. But we'll see what happens. The mainstream media never cease to amaze me in the things that they can do and the disrespect that they can show the general populace. What do we got here? G'day, Robin Hood Oz. I like that. That's a good one. G'day to Pixel Mix, all the way from US. That's awesome. That is awesome. G'day, Valerie. How are ya? Clark, always good to see you. Lisa, again, all these beautiful regular people. Awesome to see. Sorry we're a little bit late. We've had a couple of technical difficulties and still experiencing a couple, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging for too long. Richo, how are you, mate? Really insane in a sane world. Yep, that's it. Yeah. Morning, fellow Queenslander. G'day, Aussie Trader. How are you, mate? How are you? It looks like we got some things happening in the background there. All good, all good. Evening. All right, so Carla from Bali, wow. And all sorts of people coming in from all over the world, putting Townsville and, the rest of the places on the map here. Look, you know what? I think we might just dive straight in. Oh, actually, I should, do a little bit of housekeeping, I guess, Patreons, definitely consider please becoming a Patreon. We're going to have some more interesting stuff happening behind the scenes as soon as I have a moment to scratch myself. I wanted a huge thank you actually needs to go out as well to, one of the kind contributors of the network who popped a few bucks in my account, more than a few actually. Very, very generous, and I'm not sure exactly who you are. You didn't exactly identify, and there's been a few people who have done that in the past, but I have a feeling I know who you are, and if you are who I think you are, well, look, it doesn't matter who you are, fucking thanks heaps. Like, it really is greatly appreciated. That's it's going to go a long way towards paying some more bills and debts and things, particularly since the hot water service died and all that, mate. You're a lifesaver. What can I say? It's so generous. Of course, anybody can reach out at any time if they want to contribute to the network in their own little ways, via the email here, and all this stuff's in the description as well. Don't forget to check out the Cafe Locked Out page. The store is going up if you want to, support us, with t-shirts and, other merch that we're bringing up. That's the place to go. And of course, as we working with our Indigenous brothers and sisters today, the documentary is going to be, expanded upon very shortly, and that's kind of what we're going to discuss in some capacity today. So if you feel like contributing to the GoFundMe we've set up, so that I can afford to, focus on that project for the time required to produce it, because it's, the project's just growing and growing, and I've already got hours and hours and hours of footage that needs to be going through and compiled in some capacity. So we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, if you guys want to help out, that'd be greatly appreciated. So without further ado, I think it's time to bring in all our guests. We got Mebin Gari, I hope I said that right, otherwise known as Cindy. How are you?
Garamabugabe. How you going, everyone? Good evening.
G'day. And we've got the Wargamay elders there, who we've unfortunately lost picture from the moment, but I'm sure we still have audio. How you going, guys?
You can hear us?
I can hear you, but I can't see you for the moment.
I just see that. There you go. Try that.
Mm.
So we can see you. How you guys going?
Yeah, good. Yourself, Barry?
Yeah, I'm surviving. As I was saying, we've had some bad news, but we're gonna see what happens. But I guess those are the breaks. Things that it's not been the best week in that regard. But hey, look, let's bring some good news. There we go. We can see you guys. Awesome. And also we've got Earl here. How are you, Earl?
Yeah, good.
Hey, brother.
Hey, Uncle.
How are you all?
Got my
Very
booger
good,
bear.
Very good, thanks, mate. Very good. And
Yeah.
there is Steve who's trying to sort of work things out in the background, and hopefully he can join us shortly. We'll see how that pans out. But yeah, anyway, how would you guys like to start explaining what's happening?
Well, I think Gary should kick it off, I think.
Hey. Yeah, got my booger bear, everyone. How are you? How you all going, Uncle and Aunties?
Good. Very good.
Yeah, Yahweh. Mark, I just want to say thank you for giving us this opportunity to share with the rest of Australia and the world by the looks of it. So many have come from afar onto the podcast. The reason why we've come on here, okay, I can hear a phone. So the reason why we wanted to talk about the future of this country and where we're heading as a nation and with the tribal people of this continent. Okay,
Yeah.
wait there, we've got to just
Oh, we've lost
yeah.
Earl. Hopefully he'll be back. But yeah, no, continue. You say what you've got to say. Hey, I'm just popping some of the
Yeah.
comments up so that people, sort of doing their interaction. There's another sort of conversation happening behind our conversation, but that's fine. We're all listening. Please continue.
Yeah. So what we're actually working towards is a tribal governance that we lack in this country. So we've got so many movements going on out there, but at the end of the day, we believe that there's only one way forward in holding governments and a crown accountable. And the only way that we could actually unify as a people is to put the rightful people of this continent, who are our tribal senior elders, back in their position of power. And that's what we lack in this country, because our tribal elders are actually, they're the law keepers. They are the rightful authority, and they are the rightful jurisdiction. But not only that, they are the rightful crown over this continent of every nation, every tribe, and every clan. And they have been robbed and deprived of their authority in this country. And the government and the crown, and many know this, and yet they are being disrespected at the highest level. And I think it's time for this country, to be back in that, to give back what has actually been taken from our tribal elders throughout, and that's their position of authority of holding governments accountable. And this is what we lack in this country. So while we've come here to talk to everybody, while we appreciate this podcast, is that we wanted to have a yarn to the rest of Australia, of Terra Australis, about what this gathering, why the tribal elders of Queensland, the tribes, many of the tribes of Queensland are hosting this tribal gathering. And this is about having a yarn about the future of this country. And and we would like to share this with the rest of the nation about what is actually going on in the background amongst our people, and supporting our tribal elders in moving this country forward in the right way, out of the colonial realm, out of the corporate realm, out of their system, and under tribal law. This is what we lack in this country, and this is what is needed, and it's way overdue. So I just want to say I've got all the Wagamay. I've got a few of the Wagamay tribal elders here, and we've got Uncle Earl from up Cairns Way. Is that right, Uncle Earl?
No, from me.
Yeah, from there.
Europe. They call it well, they call it Burdekin, but it's your country.
Yahweh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you,
Yes.
mate.
Yeah. It's, yeah, your country here, what we are on. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Uncle Stephen in the background. Uncle Stephen, Uncle Mumby, he's trying to come online, and he's a Widjable man of the Bundjalung Nation, and he's also a tribal elder. And we would love to have so many on the ear tonight, but what we're sort of focusing on right now is our tribal elders from the far north are hosting an event to unify all the tribal elders throughout this continent from every nation, every tribe, and every clan. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hand it over to Wagame, and they can shed a bit of light on, and then I'll come in now and then when we have an open conversation and discussion about many things. So Wagame, it's up to you. I'm passing the buck. I'm passing.
Yeah, thank you, Mebangari, and to all the listeners out there too. Thank you for listening to this podcast. And look, what we're trying to achieve is to get all our tribal elders together to unite in this country, because it really needs to happen, because the way things are going with this country, it's going down the drain. And so what we really need to do is get all our tribes unified to form governance with our tribal elders at the top who make the decision, because that's how it was in the beginning. A long time ago, it was our tribal elders that made the decision for the tribes, for all our tribes across this nation. Now, this is for not only just for our tribal people, but for all people of this continent of Terra Australis. I don't like calling it Australia because it's another story. But this continent of Terra Australis is our land, and it's your land too, for all the other listeners out there too. But there's got to be equity amongst all of us. It's not just one way that it's gone for the past 230 odd years. You know, a lot of the resources have been pulled out of this country, and a lot of it none of it, just about probably 10% of it comes back to the people, but it gets swallowed up by government bureaucracy. Nothing gets back to the community and to the tribal people of the land. You know, there's a misconception that Aboriginals get all this funding and you know, and we spend it all, but the real reason is that it gets swallowed up in the bureaucracy and the chain of the government, that it just gets spent. Nothing. By the time it gets down to the bottom, there's nothing left. So really, you know, we just want to reach out to everyone in this country to come on board with us and walk hand in hand with us to try to get a better future for our kids and our grandkids. You know, it's so. But apart from that, with the gathering which we are hosting up on country and Waterman country there, you know, it's I think it hasn't been done before. I believe Mebangari, has it been done before where all the tribes have come together? Or?
Well, not like this.
Yeah.
So we've had many tribal elders that tried to establish a national tribal council, and it was just, and it's fell to nothing, or you know, turned to ashes. And but now we have an opportunity, because there's a lot going on in the corporate and the corporate realm, and there's a lot going on in the monarchy realm. And many throughout don't know what's actually happening at the top. And the only way that this can be fixed is actually bringing all the tribal elders together, you know, to hold both accountable. Not just accountability, but to establish a tribal governance where all the people are protected upon this continent. And the tribal people are the only ones that can do it, to protect all Australians and to protect this country and the resources. When they talk about equity, like Uncle Errol was talking about the equity, There is no equity for any of us right now while we're sitting under this government, this corporate government and the monarch. But, and this is where we could be a free people. This is about freedom. So what our people are doing in bringing all these tribal elders get together, not only to establish a governance and to talk about, the future of this country, but it's talking about unity and to be for the people, the men and women of these lands, to be free men and women of the land. And it's about our freedom. So when we talk about all our people coming together, this ain't just about, like, this tribal gathering might be only for our people because it's sacred business, because too many times we have been done wrongly, or there's spies in the camp and there's people going back telling government our business. We don't need them to know, and we don't want them to know our business anymore. And this is why the gathering is for all the senior tribal elders to discuss the future of the best interests of all of us, black and white. And sometimes you just gotta, and this is what I was saying to you, Brother Mark, when I had a yarn with you, and I was saying to you, that sometimes, blackfella's business, you don't have to know blackfella business all the time. Sometimes you just need to stay out of blackfella business and let our people do what they need to do without any infiltrators, without any gossiping, without any people coming back and just being messengers and spies for government. We've had enough of it. We've seen it too many times, and we're just sick of it. That is why our tribal elders are now, and Wagamay is hosting this event for all the tribal elders to come to sit in secret business to talk about the future that is good for all of us. Me, you, everyone, all Australians, our families, our children, the land, our waters, everything. Because it's way overdue. It's way overdue. And I think I think I might, if the elders want to say something about this, and Uncle Glenn, and if you want to share about, about this way of moving forward to the people and how we can achieve this together. I think, Uncle Glennie, you always, you've always got a lot of stories, and you got good stories, and I feel that this is a time to share them, Uncle.
Yeah. Well, one story is we've got to look around us here at this lovely system. This is a good system, this system that we live in, but there's no handicaps in place. And the system's coming to a brick wall. It's folding on itself. The house of cards is falling down. We're concerned because of the monarchy. We're concerned because of the Australian law that's getting around now. And it seems that this continent looks like a big sitting duck, and someone's got to take charge. We respect everybody. We respect the fact that, all right, now we could all come together and sort of deal this out and sort this business out. But yous have got to rely on one thing. We welcome the fact that you sort of try to appreciate who we are as the people of the land here. We're just mere peasants. We're just connected to the land, no matter how you look at it. But there are things happening. There are things happening in the economy. There are things happening internationally that we as a people have got to come together. We don't have the answers sitting here. The answers sit with our elders. They've been walking these lands and have them stories from, you call it 70,000 years, 200,000 years, 300,000 years. We lived on this continent peacefully, and we were able to look after ourselves. We had our trade routes. We had all that. You know all of that. We've got to come together because there's bad stuff coming. There's bad stuff coming, and our elders feel it. So we just got to support our elders. They'll know what to do. Can you rely on that people from 70,000 years ago coming to your future right here and saying to you, we know what's best for all of us. Can you trust us? Or do you still want to go on the old protective thing and, we've got to protect them, we've got to look after them? We don't need protection. We don't need looking after. We need a voice, the voice that the corporate governments will not give to us. We're sitting here today looking for sponsorship, looking for people to come into this gathering, because the only other alternative is what? We're going to ask the government to help us.
Yeah.
We're going to ask the PBCs that claim to be our voice when they're not. We've given them no power at all. And this is why the elders are going to come together. It's not about us. It's about our elders. I'm telling you, they know what to do. And they consider everything. They consider the country. They consider all peoples. But you've got to give it to them. They will know what to do. We've known what to do for 70,000 plus years. Please come this way, support us, and it'll just flow. And the whole gist of it is equity. You've got all these laws in this country, but there's no equity behind those laws. You know? So we've got to put equity back in our law, and we've got to put equity back in our lives, and we've got to move forward. And if there's handicaps that got to be put in place, there is handicaps that got to be put in place. You can't have one tribe out here. We're all a tribe. But when you constituted, you forgot about us. Tony Abbott told you that. You forgot about us. And we're saying you can't forget about us. We're going to do a new constitution. We're going to walk together. But don't leave us behind this time. That's all. That's it. A plain and simple story. We don't know what to do fully. But when we bring the elders together, they will know. Take it or leave it. That's just on the plate. We can't muck around anymore. There's a very bleak future. If none of you are looking ahead and seeing it, there's a very bleak future waiting for all of us. And not just us, our children. I'll be dead soon. All the elders will be gone soon. There's nothing left. We come to that brick wall in society. It's crumbling. The economy's crumbling. Everything's crumbling. We must know what to do. If we don't know what to do, then we're finished. We are all finished. No equity for anyone. Remember? And then we'll all have nothing and we'll all be happy.
Yeah. Wonderful catchphrase, that one. You'll have nothing and be happy, and that you're not wrong. When I look into my crystal ball over here, you know, I don't see you know, anything good coming from what we're being offered by the same people who have screwed us all over for centuries, time and time again. I would like to sort of address some of the comments that I'm seeing here. I would have thought by now that the audience would understand that we are trying to work together, but some of the questions seem to indicate perhaps they don't. There's some distrust, I guess. Would you guys perhaps like to emphasize that we are coming together for everyone, just for those who are, you know, perhaps just a bit concerned, you know, they've been led down the garden path, you know, and don't quite comprehend what's going on here. And I'd also like to state that I will be at this, you know, gathering and, you know, gathering some intel for, you know, what we are allowed to sort of share with the general public, you know. So, you know, will other people be there? Well, yes, lots, you know. Although it's you know, for the elders, fundamentally, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to being a part of this. And I thank everyone for inviting, you know, the North Queensland Freedom Network in to document this astounding historical occasion, and for coming on this network, choosing this platform to voice what you guys have to share.
Can I just want to touch on how this came about. Like, there was a body, you could say a body of people, but by a tribal elder, and how we were unified was because of a few of our tribal elders from the north established Namdakadala Australis. Namdakadala Australis is an ancient language for our southern lands. And Namdakadala was established created as an umbrella, but nobody owns it. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are saying that Namdakadalis is an Australian citizen, you know, movement, more or less calling it a white movement, but actually it's not. And I wanted to clarify, and I wanted to justify this, because Namdakadala Australis is actually, there is an umbrella for everyone to come in and belong, you know, with the tribal people. the people that are actually going to be established under Namdakadalas are the tribal elders of this continent. They were actually, that's where the governance was going to be created under NDA, Namdakadalas NDA. And through that governance, we were actually working on a tribal founding constitution. Well, in their language, they call it a constitution, but we are calling it the tribal founding document. So if there was any transition, and we needed a sure foundation of how we were going to create this new realm under tribal law. And that's how Namdakadala came into play, to bring all of us together as a tribal people of this continent, of all our tribal elders from every nation, every tribe, every clan, and to also bring the Australian people in to walk with us, that we are all a part of these, all a part of the tribal people of these lands, and you're a part of this tribe. And, we've got a lot of people out there running in this Australian sovereign, sovereign citizen movement. Stop doing that. Come and stand with the tribal people, because when you look at citizenship, you define citizenship, you still belong to a ship on land. You still belong to the crown, and you're still a subject unto them. Stop classing yourself as a citizen and start belonging to a tribe. Come back to the land. Get off the ship and walk on the land. Come back to the land and walk with the tribal people of this continent. Because we had a run-in with DCJ, and DCJ said, Namdakadalas is Namdakadalas. I just want to call out Department of Community Justice. You need to get your facts right before you start making comments out there from DCJ. They were saying, Namdakadalas is a sovereign citizen movement. It's like, no, it's not. It's actually tribal elders, that are actually sitting in a position where we're trying to unite them to establish a government to protect all of us. Not just First Nations, but all Australians throughout this country. Namdakadalas is actually where the tribal governance will be established under the umbrella. And believe it or not, nobody owns Namdakadalas Australis. It's actually a spiritual realm. It's just an umbrella for everyone to come and belong and be a part of the family of the tribal people of this continent. We're not turning anybody away that wants to actually live upon the tribal lands that they're living on, but just acknowledge our people, because at the end of the day, this is the only way forward right now is to actually establish a tribal elders governance in unifying all the nations and tribes of coming together with the Australian people, because we have no other way out. Has anybody else got an answer? Has anybody got a cure? Because there's no other way but through the tribal people of this continent. It's the only way to come out, because we are a sinking island right now under this corporate realm and under the monarch. Well, actually, the corporate realm and the monarch are actually fighting. They're actually battling and they're warring against one another, if you all want to know the truth. Because the corporation wants to take the lands and the monarch is pushing back. There's a lot going on in that realm that a lot of people don't know about it, and it's a struggle and it's a battle for power right now as we speak, and this is why the tribal sovereigns need to take back their power. And we need to be supporting the tribal elders of this continent, because we need to be backing it. We need to be helping them to unite, and bringing them together in one place, because I'll tell you what, it's going to send shivers down the back of the corporate realm. The Australian government and the monarch. Believe it or not, the monarch is actually wanting this, but the corporate is disempowering our people, because they know that their time as administrators has run out. The Australian corporate government are only administrators until the rightful people could get their stuff together. And you know what? Their time is up, and it's actually happening. But they have tried too many for 250 years to divide and conquer the people. If you can continue to divide and conquer the people, you can continue to control them, Yeah, so, but yeah, this is where we're at, everybody. The tribal, I think the name of it, what is it? The ancestral tribal gathering of our elders. Is that the name on the flyer?
Give me a second.
Mm.
I believe so.
It's the ancestral tribal elders gathering that is being held on Wagamay country. And we need all the support of everybody of supporting our tribal elders from afar, from every nation, from every state, every territory, from every nation, every tribe, every clan, you know, to bring all our elders into one place so they can make a decision. You know what? I'm telling you, under international law, if we have, because we have actually been running custodial courts, we've actually, you know, and there's a lot happening. And if we can actually prove to them that the tribal people of this continent can actually, you know, stand on their own 2 feet and run their own business and their own affairs for their own country, then we have a hope here. Because we're sick and tired of being dictated to, and like blackfellas can't do nothing when actually, you know, our tribal elders are smarter than what people think, and they're our law keeper. They are our knowledge holders, and you know they got a lot to offer, but they've been pushed in a corner, and they've been stripped of their power and of their rights of doing what they do best, and they know what's best for all of us, and we need to be listening to them.
Well said, Cindy.
Very good.
My booger uncle.
Earl, do you have anything you'd like to sort of add into this mix, mate? Your mic's muted, by the way. Yep.
Yeah. What a lot of this too, in talking for country, it's got to be bloodline and connection, and we've already got that. Already showing that, you know. There will be a few things that I'll be showing you once we all get together, and I'll show you everything there. Right? I won't say too much on the phone or on this broadcast, but when we all get together, that's when I'll have everything there prepared for you to see. And it's about the truth anyway, that we all should know about. So I'll do that. I'll show you there, and I think everything will work out all right.
Yeah.
Because this is about the truth now, and
yeah,
it's about all the foreigners who think they can come here and overrule us with their lies. So we'll go from there, and once we get together, we'll have it all on. And there's another brother of mine, Andrew. He will be there also to tell you quite a few things. And that's no, thank you. Has anyone else got anything to say?
Well, I'd just like to add a few things, you know. At the moment, all your tribal elders, you can see all the land grab happening in Queensland, down near Goondiwindi, that's got nothing to do with us. We don't even have a say in that. That's our PBC selling all the land to privateers. And all the resources
sorry, Glenn, to cut you off there, mate, but can you just explain what the PBCs are for those who are unaware?
Prescribed
body corps.
They make decisions for us, even though they're not the decisions we agreed to. They are making legal decisions upon us based on a corporate aspect that have nothing to do with us. All that money that is supposed to go to the missions, Raminginning, Manangrita,
Didn't get there.
Mornington Island, the money's not going where it's needed. And I know everyone's worried about money, but we're worried about it too because it disappears. The black and white industry here is just another scam for employment that the government sells you, right? But look, like here we are at this point in history and trying to get us. The government won't allow any Aboriginal community to have its own economic freedom. That's a danger to the corporation. Because once economic freedom comes, they think you're going to take over the show.
No.
That is not the case. When we say we have to go what the tribal elders say, and that's it. And and that's why if we're worried about the money and everyone's saying, well, what are the Aboriginal people? This is the Aboriginal people, not the Aboriginal persons. This is the Aboriginal. We're not the academic ones. We're not the ones coming out of institutions with doctorates. We are the grassroots people saying that our elders need to talk, but our elders need to come together properly, not through Makarrata, not through a framework. They got to come together in a natural environment. They got to come together naturally. And there's a lot of thinking to do because they know the problems that we're all under here. You know, they understand all that. Yeah, we don't need to be protected anymore. We don't need to for everyone to speak for us. We have a voice, but they're not listening because we don't fit in their framework, because we don't fit under the legalities that they have. But the reason why they won't let us legalities is because they do understand that there is a law here already. The High Court told you that. So we've got to bring the elders together. You'll be surprised. But not just the elders, community engagement done with everybody, not just us.
Yes.
We've got common law sheriffs will be there on the day. You see? We're trying to bring the common law people together. Give your common law a bit of power now. There's nothing wrong with common law. It's the natural law. And we've got to respect that. But there are things happening now. And if we don't do something, well, maybe it is the last opportunity. But this is a sincere, there's no strings pulled here. No one's pulling any or wanting money or doing all this rubbish, right? We just want to get our elders together. It's no big party. This is a very serious matter now. You know? You know, we're not the lazy people we thought we were, you know, but we were in paradise before everyone came here, you know? So, you know, and we know there's a problem and we know that it needs fixing and we know that it requires deep thought. We know that it requires real strong mind to mind, and everybody's thrown into the ring. It's not that we're putting ourselves first. We know there's a big problem, but it's got to start from somewhere. And if we don't do it, well, who's going to do it? You're going to rely on these soothsayers in the parliament who hold half of them are lawyers anyway, and the world's being run by lawyers.
We know what the Bible says about them.
Can't we just be ourselves? Can't we come together? Why do we need an interface through government or some sort of legality or some sort of permission from someone else for us to come together? Because we know deep down inside there is a problem. The more you're ignoring a tumor and putting a bandage on it, but it's getting worse and worse and worse. You know, we yield a lot of power here concerning the land, you know? We've got to use
well, the
that.
reason
But in a
being
right way.
sorry. The reason being is they want to do the trade for us, but we can trade ourselves. And this is once we start trading ourselves, they are out of the picture. They can't talk no more for country. And so this is why they have stopped us in talking for our country because they've got all these PBCs and all these corporations doing all the talking, because the ones who are running the show, they say to the Prime Minister, he is nothing, but he is listening to other people who is actually giving him the order. And so it's all, And it's not only one country that's doing, it's all other countries that are doing, who think they can come in here without permission on your own tribal land. And that's illegal. That's treason what they're doing. They know they're doing
That's
treason.
right.
They don't care. They're not worried about us.
Mm.
So we've got to, so if we can, once we put it out there, we say, okay, we can actually trade. It's in the, it's written there for us. But
Yeah.
when we get to this meeting, we'll be able to talk properly, because we'll be out where no one can't hear us, phones be off, everything, and we'll talk properly there once we get together.
Yahweh. Yahweh. Yahweh, Uncle. So at this gathering, the discussion was there was several issues, but there'll be so much to discuss around the table, all our elders. But at this gathering, there was a discussion of tribal treaties. There was a discussion of appointing a tribal governance of our tribal elders that will be present from every nation and every tribe and every clan. And that is not saying that none of the elders can come on board, but we need to start now and to appoint one now than later. And many others that will come on board will also take their rightful their place and position in them seats from different nation and tribes and clans eventually. And not only was there there was several things that was on the table that we were going to discuss, was the tribal treaties between tribes, between nations, between clans, whatever it may be. But there was a discussion about the tribal treaties being diplomatic immunity under international laws also. But it was also about the governance, appointing a tribal governance, and the other was discussing our tribal founding document. Because if we're going to build and we're going to create something, you need to give the people something to come to transition to. So that was why we were working on a tribal founding document. In layman's term, or their language, you would call it a constitution. But it's actually our tribal founding document. And we have been working tirelessly on the tribal founding document of actually creating a tribal constitution for the people to transition under tribal law. And it's actually, if you were to see this document, it's actually beautiful. Am I not right? Am I right about that, Walgamay? It's actually a beautiful document that is actually it, and it covers everything. And
that's correct, Bevan.
yeah,
correct.
And it includes the Bill of Rights, for humanity. It includes equity. It includes that, the sharing of this land in the rightful manner. Because at the end of the day, we all belong to the land. We all come from the land. We all come from source. We are all spirit beings. It's about just coming together and having this overall discussion, but allowing our tribal elders to have that discussion first in moving this country forward and creating the new way forward and creating this new realm under tribal law, natural law, the rightful law to this land and our people. So, and we're just asking for many out there to come and support our tribal elders and whatever you can help of through this process of assisting our elders of coming from every state and every territory, from all nations and tribes. What can the people do out there to help and to support this and make it happen so we can establish this new governance to hold the corporate realm accountable and to put them back in their place, to put them on their ship and send them where they need to go to, back to Norfolk Island, wherever they may need to go. But we need to do this, Australia. We need to do this, my people. If yous are out there listening, this needs to be done. We have to create this now because we're all on the clock. And we've got no other answers. Everyone standing up, there's different movements going on, but where are we going as a nation? Where are we going and where are we heading as a people? because united we stand, divided we fall. And this is the whole purpose of all the tribal elders coming together in the best interest for my family, the best interest for your family, the best interest for all of us as a people of this continent. You know, we all belong to the tribes. You all came from a tribe once upon a time ago, you know, and you still belong to a tribe. And this is when Namdakadala was created. When Namdakadala Australis was created, it was a place of belonging where everyone could come. Nobody owns NDA. I'll make that clear. It don't belong to no sovereign citizens. It don't belong to anyone. It's under spirit, and that's where it remains. It's just an umbrella for everyone to come together in a place of belonging. And this is where the tribal government was going to be established under NDA. But no ownership, no nothing. So everyone can get that idea that somebody owns NDA, because nobody owns NDA. And the rightful authority are the tribal senior elders. They will be the governance that will make the decisions over this continent at the best interest for all of us. But anyways, I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Madam Gary. That was quite good to what you said there. We're asking for all the people that are out there listening and watching that to help support this, because it's helping yourself as well, because in the end it's going to help everyone. So we're just asking if people can help support this gathering in some way or form that they can. Be much appreciated in the long run.
And
they laundered over $400 billion on The Voice, and they're still continuing with it. They're still continuing to try to get this voice. Have you not asked yourselves a question? Why is the Australian government and the states, the colonies, plantations, whatever you want to call them, right? Why are they still beating on about this treaty? Because they know there's a problem in history. Tony Abbott told you that, right? There's a problem in history. When you constituted the country, you never took us with you. Over 230 tribes rolled up at the Constitution down there in Canberra to ask to be included in that Constitution, but we were not. We weren't included. And regardless of what you think of the flag or whatever, they're only idols anyway. But when we come together, we have a new flag. We have and that Constitution, we walk into that together. The guidelines will be there. You'll get your common law. You'll have all of that. But if we don't do something, it can go either of three ways. We become a 53rd state of the United States. We become a dictatorship republic, because they're going to throw the monarchy out anyway. They're pushing for it.
That's right. That's right.
Or we're going to come under our own system of law here, which is very, very much like your common law. And the first part of that law is do no harm. Under the law of the seven sisters, there's your 7 deadly sins: coercion, deception, all of those things, murder. You'll be held accountable for those things. You've got accountability back. But all that money that you fellas have been paying in your tax, I'm telling you, we had nothing to do with that. Actually, we're telling the government, no, you can't go through with this voice. You can't do this. You can't. You've got to bring everyone together, and you've got to explain it to them what this is all about. Did they explain anything to you? They explained nothing. They left yous in the dark. They left us in the dark. So what? We're all sitting around in the dark with no light. So we bring light to the subject. And if you're ashamed of light or afraid of light, then walk away and stay in the darkness. But come with us. Help us. Help us to help you. We don't want, look, it's not about money. We're not here for whatever you think about blackfella or we need to be looked after. Forget it. Come together now, because what's waiting down the track for you is worse than this. I'm telling you, it's worse than this.
That's right.
Right. Talk about bruise your head and kick your heel. You wait till this comes around. You wait until when this place is proclaimed a republic, and then handed over like a bloody baton in a relay race to anyone who wants to come in here for dibs and digs, right? but get them resources back under control. Because the minute you got these other, you got a corporate government selling off your private infrastructure and private mining. There's all your stuff gone to the Cayman Islands. How can we be the richest country in the world, and I mean the whole world, but yet be the broke? And we got the littlest population. Where's that money going? Where's the resources going? But you still look to an administration that don't even have control. They're just taking orders from somewhere else. Come with us. What do you got to lose? Everything's stuffed anyway. You can see it. The writing's on the wall. We're going down the gurgler 100 mile an hour.
Yep. They've already stolen everything. They've already stolen all the wealth. They've taken everything from us. What have we got to lose? Uncle Glennie's right. And may I just touch also, if only Australia knew that that referendum that was coming was actually, they were going to lift all the borders, all the states. There was going to be no state and territories. They were going to lift it all, and they were going to establish their voice of their elected body of the voice, and the governments were going to establish one world government upon this continent if that would have went through. And not many people know this, not many people know. And I don't mean to be rude, Uncle Glennie, but I don't want to be in a corporate constitution, because that's what they tried to do with the referendum. They tried to get 97% of Australians to give consent to go in, to be transferred from the Commonwealth, from the monarchy as the cargo. The people are the cargo, to transfer them all from the Commonwealth into the corporation to be their members. And not only that, they were going to lift the blackfellas all off the land, and they were also going to put us into there to be corporate members also. So if you looked at the corporation, they would have had a ball, and they would have had all the land right in their greedy hands. So at the end of the day, the no came through, and we were spiritually protected. And that new Australian constitution that they were creating was leading to one world government. And that's where a republic was coming into play. So there was a lot at the table that was not exposed or disclosed unto the Australian public, nor to our people. But our people didn't even know this, and they were all saying, many of them were saying yes too. It was like, we actually, all the no campaigners, you should all give yourselves a big giant pat on the back, because I'll tell you what, we saved this country.
Yep.
And we now have an opportunity to do something right now with our tribal elders, because they're pushing back. And if you don't know what's going, the corporation and the monarch are at war. The monarch is actually reaching out to the sovereigns to say, we need your help. You better move quickly, because the corporation wants this country, and they're going to do anything to take it from us. And this is why the tribal people have been, we've been having discussions with many of people in positions of influence and power that is actually wanting the tribal people to rise up, because they are the rightful sovereign tribal people to the lands. They are the sovereign people to the lands, and only they can make this country, only they can bring the change. And people are crying out for this help. And we need all the support we possibly can get from the Australian people to help bring all our tribal elders together for this to take place. And this is why I thank you, Mark, for allowing this, this platform, and using this platform for Wagamay, and our tribal elders to come on here and to reach out to everyone, to give them a bit of understanding of why this is much needed now. Because I'll tell you what, Wagamay has been given. They've been given this mantle. It's a spiritual mantle that they've been given to actually hold this. Someone else said that, why don't we bring it this way? And it's like, it wasn't called for yous to have it, because it was actually called for them. We're actually heading in the right track under Creator Spirit. I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are out there, but me, I'm a spirit woman. I believe in the Creator Spirit. I believe the Creator is holds the law of this land and the law of our people, and that's the law that we come under is natural law. It's Creator's law. Is the law of this land and the law of my people, and I want to hold to that. And that's the law that we need to be coming under upon this continent and sending these these people that are still living in this ship on this land, that we can actually send that ship back out to sea and probably send them back to Norfolk Island. What do you reckon? I don't know, but anyways.
Well, we've got to send them back because the reason being now is Albo has actually shook hands with the Indonesians, so it's coming. I got sent that message today, so it's up to us now, and it's got to be done because there was an agreement that was made by, not by us, but these corporations in doing what they want to do. So once we have this meeting, and the question's got to be asked now, who gave who permission to talk for this country, even with the US to come over here or whatever other countries come over here, because everyone has actually, with all who was in government and what they set up is they've all have actually done treason on this land. So it's up to us now. We say, rightio, we send them an affidavit to ask them, to say to them, who gave you permission? Who gave you the right? Did the Queen give you the right? Or who actually? So this is what this is what's got to be asked now, and with all the tribes together, because one tribe can't do it. They won't listen. They're stubborn. Because it's the same thing that happened over in Israel. It's happening right here, right under our noses. So we all got to do this together now.
Yeah, way.
And
100%. And the right way, the proper way, you know?
That's right.
And in saying that, Uncle Earl, you know, these people that are actually sitting over there signing treaties, at the end of the day, a corporation can't sign a treaty. They're not sovereign to the land. So it's fake.
No.
It's fiction. You know, trying to commerce and trading. Yeah, it's like, it's just ridiculous. And I can't believe that we have been sitting, that it's taken us, well, you know, I'm another generation, but 254 years, and you know, we've allowed it. We've allowed all this, and it's like we need to come out of this fake realm, this realm built on fiction. We're all on the monopoly board. It's time, you know. It's time to pull it up. It's time to take a stand, and it's time to push back, but not in a sense where we're going to war. We're going to do this the right way. We're going to do it peacefully. We're going to do it right way. You know, and do no harm. We're going to do this the right way, the way that our ancestors would have done it, you know, like, and we owe it to them. Many of them put their lives on the line for this country, and we owe it to them to stand up, you know, for our country and for all the people that now dwell upon this country. And I'm just going to touch on this. Nobody in their right, nobody throughout that dwells upon this land, even in history, you know, that have been ripped up from their lands, dispossessed, put on ships and taken to foreign countries, and, you know, having to, you know, to be told this is your new home, this is, you know, and it was just a matter of survival. Now, nobody asks for anybody to do that, to be ripped up from their homelands, even in the past, you know, even hundreds of years ago, and just dispossessed from their homelands, taken across the seas. This is why we cannot tell people, pack your bags, go back where you came from. We can't be saying that stuff when they have nowhere to go, because we are their family. And we need to be looking after everybody upon this country, because Creator sees no colour. And all the
Correct.
Australian people are our family. And we have a responsibility to stand against this corporation to say they are our family too. And you're not going to do them no harm and no wrong like you did to us. But we're going to unify and we're going to stand together. And enough is enough. We have a responsibility to protect everybody that dwells upon our land, every man, woman, and our children. And this
Well,
government needs to, yeah.
we're actually man and woman. We aren't
Mm,
what they're saying. They don't want to recognise us as a man and woman because the reason being is they don't want to recognise the living. And when you start doing that, you actually, when you
mm,
say that to them in the course, they don't like it. So,
mm,
because everything is so corrupt,
mm,
and we know what it's all about,
mm,
but what they're doing now, they think what they're doing actually is wrong because they're trying to, well, they think they can play the part of the creator,
mm.
and you can't do that one. But once we get together, we'll all be able to explain it properly to one another when we sit and have our talks. And
Yeah.
once we do that, because I've got this other fella, he's coming along too, and we'll all get together. And I think, like I said, we'll all go ahead together.
Mm. We will. We will. We will be. And we will be. We have this one opportunity. We have this opportunity that has been given to us by Spirit. And we just need the support of this nation and all the people to back our tribal elders. If you can get to all the listeners out there, what we need is we need to get our tribal elders from every nation, every tribe, every clan, every state, and every territory. And we need buses. We need transport. If these elders want to come, we're reaching out. You know, it doesn't have to be in the form of money. We're sick of money. We just want action. We just need buses. We just need transport. We just need food. We just need these things. It's not always about money. But it's about what we can bring to make this happen. What we can
That's right.
do to make this happen. It's always not about, this is where the bartering and the trading and everything, the commerce, the equity, we can do this as a nation. But we need to bring our tribal elders together. It's so significant to the now because there's a spiritual war going on and we need to unify this country. And the only way that we could actually establish something under bringing together our tribal elders to establish this is the proper way, is the rightful way. And you know what? That these tribal elders, we will all be a part of the tribes. You will no longer be an Australian, whatever they call you, sovereign citizen, and all of this, all that citizenship, relationship, membership, whatever the ship is, they can all take their ship and they can ship on out of here.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Well said. Ship 'em
But
out.
it's time, Australia. It's time, my people. It's time, my elders, to come together because you are our authority. You are our decision makers and you are our crown. And we have to put our elders back into that position to tell this government, if we have if we have more than 100 elders from different tribes that come, under internationally that's recognized as the governance. And you know what they could actually do is take back this country and tell them and shut the corporate realm down. This is actually the right way to go about it. And we're not doing it with guns. We're not coming at them with it. we're actually doing this the right way, spirit way, proper way. And I
Peaceful
believe
way.
that we can do this. Yeah, the peaceful way. You know, we don't want any war in this country. We don't want women, you know, our children dying, or men and women laying their lives on the line. I feel sorry for all of those that send their children into wars and they never see their kids again. That breaks all of our hearts, knowing that they're fighting old men's wars for power, for greed, for money, for resources. It's disgusting. Let's not let this country become like America or any of them corporate countries. We have an opportunity to save this country from these mongrel breeds, whoever they are. We have an opportunity right now. It's right before us, Australia. It's right before us, my people, and it's with our tribal elders. And we need to do everything we possibly can throughout this country to bring them together. If we can organise buses everywhere, transport, whatever they need, let's reach out and let's bring all our elders together to make this happen. We're sending a message to the rest of the world loud and clear. That's why we'll go viral with it.
Yahweh.
All the sovereign nations actually are waiting and they're waiting. You know, when I was a young, they're all waiting. All the sovereign nations around the world are waiting for the tribal people of this continent to rise up. All the islands are waiting for the tribal people of this country to rise up. You know, when I was a young girl, you know what my old people said to me before? Many of them are not here now, but I remember one old uncle when he was alive. This is what he said to me. He said, one day, he said, it's coming. All eyes will be on Australia.
And it's
All
happening
eyes will
now.
be on this world. All eyes will be on this country. And you know what? Many across the globe, well, flat earth, round earth, I don't care what earth. All I know is that we need to come together as a people, you know. But the thing about it is that this is the only way of coming together. We have no other way. There is no other option on the table right now than this right now with our tribal elders. And we need to be doing all that we can to bring them together. Australia, my people, this is the only way. But anyways, I think that's enough from me. We could talk about a lot of other stuff. I love stories, but anyways.
Yeah. Well, this is the charge.
Yeah.
This is the charge. Like Mebengary said, we're sick of asking for money that we don't get. I'll just say that again. We're sick of asking for money that we don't get. We don't know where that money goes. We've been in contact. It's not about money. We've got old people sitting in the desert in Northern Territory in Western Australia. They want to come to talk to us, but they can't get here. Do you think we can ask the government? They're forking out all the dollars. They're quick to spend $480 million of your dollars on this useless referendum, but won't supply a bus for us to come together because it doesn't agree with their agenda.
No.
Exactly.
We just need a bit of tucker. We just need transport for these people so they could come and meet. But under this umbrella, then this government can't go making any more decisions for us. We say, you're using representatives, but all elders have come together. Why aren't you talking to them?
Yeah, that's right.
And then it's the same as our elders. And then when we talk to the common law sheriffs and we say, well, these people are ready to start rolling out that law here, would you give them a permission to do that for no other reason? We can't bring you in under our law. You know that. You've got to come in as initiate of your own free will. We're not welcoming you to country. We don't get exorbitant money, but we don't do welcome to country. You get an invitation if you choose to come to connect. We don't ask it. There's nothing
No money involved.
But if you're going to come and connect to country, connect to the land again, be the peasant that you should be, then go and ask the local tribe. We got no business running around in the crowd welcoming you folks. That's not how we do things.
It's not the proper way.
That's right.
That's not why. I don't know who made all that stuff up, but just to let you know, I know you're all angry about that. Everyone's angry about that.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do about it
Yeah.
when you have the corporate government that's pulling it all out? Pulling it all
Mm.
out. We'll do this, we'll do. Hang on, you never asked us. Just a
Yeah.
few bucks, chuck in for a bit of tucker. Look, we're not hard people to please from a thing. Remember, we lived a very simple life before you came, eh? And,
Yep.
you know, we're used to that. We're not asking for money. The last thing we want for you fellas to think, these
We're
black
not
fellas
Yeah.
just want money again, money again. You
Yeah.
don't, there's
We
more
don't.
to life about money, you know?
Yeah.
There's more to life
Yeah.
about
But Uncle Glennie, I love that because you know what? That's what the government wants. That's the indoctrination that they put in the minds of them so they can divide and conquer us. So they use that because there's no such thing as blackfellow funding. Let me tell you, Australia, there's no such thing. It's tokenistic. They actually use Aboriginal and they actually use Indigenous and First Nation as titles so they can claim and they can steal the money. But they say it's for blackfellas, but it's not. It's for them.
they
There's no
launder it.
such thing as, yeah, they're laundering. It's actually, there's no such thing, Australia, my people, there's no such thing as blackfellow funding. It's all lies. The whole lot of it's lies. It's tokenistic. They're just using our name, our titles for them to steal the money.
Bit of virtue signaling.
Exactly.
Your way, 100%. There's no such thing as, and all this stealing, taxpayers' money, everything like that. We don't care about the money. This is what they think, oh, but blackfellas will take this. And you know why they got into the ears of all the farmers and everything? Oh, if you let them blackfellas come in, they will take everything for you. You don't want to worry about the blackfellas. You want to worry about government. Because look
Yep.
where your land that you purchased, you don't even own it. You know, they own it digitally now. Everything is, you know, you got digital titles. Well, they control them titles now, and I guarantee if you go back and have a look at it, you don't own it.
Yep.
You know, all these titles are actually, you're stripped of all of that, everything.
And we still don't know
But
who's holding these alleged digital titles either.
yeah, well, and it's they own them. That's their realm. They own the digital realm. They've created it. These same people that are controlling the world are doing all this. This is all their realm. You know, the digital realm, the corporate realm. All of these, they're all realms. We're all actually meant to be just spirit beings passing by, but we got caught up in a realm of materialistic realm and became slaves unto a system when we were meant to be just passing by. You know, we all, and this is what's happened. And we've all, many have lost their way. Many have lost their calling and purpose and their, you know, they've lost their, how can I say it, of their belonging, you know, of who they are as spirit beings. You know, we're so lost. Many are so lost, you know, and it's time to come back. And you know what? Coming back and sitting with our tribal elders and helping them and supporting them and creating this, that's the right way. Because that is actually bringing us all back to source, back to spirit, back to everything that is, you know, the right way, the proper way. Family.
Hello,
Yahweh, it's bringing us back to family.
Either way we look at it, we're all from, if you want to look at it that way, we're all from one of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? If we're going to look at it that way, well, if we're all thinking we're all family anyway, let's just stop the fighting, stop the rot, do all that, and get something done. But this isn't for us. Don't think that we're sitting here. We're just bringing the elders together. They know what to do.
Yep.
And you mightn't have confidence in that. But I can guarantee there's 70,000 years worth of knowledge there that you can gather. It's not all dollars and cents, folks. It's not all about signing the checkbook. It's about just doing the right thing sometime.
For the people and the land.
Yeah. Because this is about looking after country. We need to leave a future for our children. And we have an opportunity now, instead of all of us all, you know, bickering or whatever it may be, what everyone's doing out there, arguing amongst one another over nothing. You know, you're all bickering while they're stealing everything, you know. But at the end of the day, we need to be creating a new way forward for the children, our children. We need to be protecting this country for the future generations. Because we cannot leave this world knowing that, you know, We didn't do anything for them. We didn't create nothing new for them. You know, we don't need to be evolving in the digital realm, but creating something new that is more beautiful than, let's build a paradise, because this once was paradise. Why can't it be paradise again instead of following a materialistic realm that you end up in slavery? It's time to come out. It's time to come out of the slave system. It's time to walk back on the land. It's time to reconnect. It's time, you know, to build and create this new way forward for the future of our children.
Yeah.
We're not going to be here forever. I don't want to be here forever.
Certainly not under the current conditions, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, Mum,
So-
do you want to have it? Yeah.
So
Sorry, you were
what
saying?
do we do? Do we just have a talk fest? We're putting it on the table. We're saying this is the banquet we need to have. Get them together. Get them to talk. There'll be other parties involved in this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
as we start, and everyone is for consideration. Everyone must be considered. We are all family. There is no color in that. But you got to
Yes.
don't. And our culture isn't gone. I think the governments and that assume that the levels of assimilation and all that. No, there were stories kept. There were stories kept
Yeah,
till
way.
now. Our writings on the wall and our rock art, we know what that says. We know when to do, when to move. We understand all of that because we listen to our elders and they continue that story. Stories that no one was interested in listening to. But there's stories about living and life and how we should always be one to another. The only thing that will stop me and you from coming together is our different self-sustaining needs and wants. But when we live under the sky like this, all our needs are the same. That's why equity's got to come back in. And that to have our equity, we have to have that equity backing up the law that's here. A law with no equity is no law at all. But they'll force you to it, like they're forcing us. Don't let this culture die. They came for you, fellas. But you know, all culture's the same no matter where you go. At its deep, meaningful root, it's all fabric, folks. The fabric that we're all woven into. That's culture. You can't get rid of culture. You really can't. Those Finnish women in the north have fought to get back their hat. They're a cultural people. Just like your Irish. They've got their own language. The Scotsman, he's got his fabric. He knows about the universe. If you don't understand culture, please don't work against it. It's older than us. Culture's a thing that's missing from our life. And you live on this land that has a great spirit. Everyone feels it. You've got every poisonous animal under the sun, yet we live here in perfect harmony with the land. We feel something from the land. That's the spirit. Not the great Aussie spirit, but the spirit of the land, that it envelops the people and everyone. So we've got to look after it too, you know. There's a lot of mess that needs to be cleaned up in that, but we've got to look after it. But our elders want to come together. They want to talk. Just their elders, not us. Our elders want to talk. Let them talk. Let your common law people come. Let them all talk together. And now what we're doing really is having the front door open, but no one's coming through the back door or the side entrance. Everyone comes in through the front, right? We all see each other from the front and we all see each other leave. No secret entrances into this. Let's come together. And you know what? Now is the time. This is the time. This is what we've been waiting for. We're not here to ask for money, but our elders want to come and they want to meet with each other. And they have not met with each other in such a long time. If we're able, even internationally, folks, anyone, just a few buses, that's all. Can we do that? You know,
Can we get the word out to all of our remote communities where you're living far and wide across this continent? Talk to your elders. Talk to the elders. Do you want to come to Queensland, to the Wagamay? They're having a big yarning circle. They're talking about the future of this country. Reach out to all our tribal elders wherever you are to tell them about what's going on and bring them. If they want to come, try to find a way to bring them. get buses, get planes, get whatever, get cars, come in a convoy. Use all convoy to Canberra or convoy to Walgamay country.
Beautiful example. Convoy to Canberra. Wow, you know, we can get to one place, we can get to another, eh? You know?
Yahweh, Yahweh. And I
Yeah,
just wanted to just, and Brother Mark, can I just, Yahweh.
Yeah. Would you tell everyone that story of your epic there? When
Which
you were
one
down
is
there?
that?
Well,
Which one, Uncle?
the one you shared with me the other day would probably be
When
the
you
one,
first
I
went
think.
to epic and you sang everyone to you. I think people need to hear that.
I think you told it more beautiful than me. So
No, but that's your story there. See?
yeah. Well, it was the 21st of November, and I had a calling upon my heart, and I went through a lot before I went to Canberra because I tried to run from the calling. And Creator called me, and the ancestors were calling me to Canberra, and I knew in my heart, and I knew I had to go, and I tried to run from it, and that's how I ended up underwater in my car fighting for my life because I was running away and I was trying to cross over the border secretly without anyone knowing, trying to get back home to the Northern Territory. Anyways, I ended up underwater fighting for my life. I got saved the next day. Long story, but I'll shortcut it all. You know, ended up then in Ballina 2 days later, and then I told all the crowd. I ended up speaking in Ballina at the Freedom. It was the Freedom rallies, and I told them that I was going to Canberra, and I ended up finally in Canberra. I just had a dream about a sister, you know, that was a sister that was she came to me in my dream that night, and I rang her the next day and I said, sis, I said, Spirit spoke to me. I said, would you take me to Canberra? And she's like, oh, well, I was going to South Australia, but all the roads are blocked. She said, but why not? Let's go. And I ended up in Canberra with this sister, and I ended up at the 10 Embassy. When I got to the 10 Embassy, there was only old Uncle Firekeeper there and myself. And he said, you know, where do you want to camp? And I was in I only went with a little bag on my back. Not even that. It was just a little plastic bag. And I ended up, just singing every day, same spot with my clap sticks. And I just sang in language every day for the people to come. And I was reaching out to all the sovereign people to come because Spirit called me there, and it was a spiritual calling. And all of those that came to Canberra, they didn't just hear, you know, it wasn't just a song and a dance. They knew that it was more than that because they were called by Spirit and not by flesh. Everybody that went to Canberra was actually called by Spirit because I sat there every day and I sung and I sung and I sung and I sung. And I watched 1.5 million after the sovereigns, and then I seen all the Australian people from many backgrounds come, you know, and I seen them, and I never seen colour. I seen the people. I just seen people come. But when we were there, I left eventually because then I seen the infiltrators, the dividers, and all of that after all of the unification that Creator brought all the people together because Spirit knew that it was a bad thing of what they've done in the country, what the corporate realm did, what the corporation done, the Australian government done to the people in this country. Spirit laid it upon my heart to go there, you know, and do what what I was called to do. And that was to bring the people. You should be all proud of yourself for coming because you heard the call by Spirit and not by flesh. And you made a difference because if it was not for you, who knew how long them lockdowns would have took place? But they knew they couldn't move 1.5 million people, and the only way they could move them was open the borders and remove the mandates. So well done, Australia.
Whoa.
Yep.
And wow, what an amazing event that was. Like, I knew I had to be there. I jumped on a plane and got my ass there as best I could and bust our way back and found myself sick as a dog for 2 weeks after. I don't know what the hell they did to us, but by God, I was crook. You know, and I know it wasn't some virus that they kept talking about because nobody else got sick when I come home. Just me.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share. Can I just do a cooey out to all the women? I just want to say to all the women, you know, remember who you are, because you are, our great mothers of the stars, Warren Yiniga, you call them Pleiades. You remember that they are our mothers of the stars, and they represent every single of the 7 continents. They are our mothers. So my sisters, we are all family. We all come from the stars. These are all our mothers of the Pleiades. You call them Pleiades in my language, we call them Warren Yiniga. But I just want to say, my sisters, that we are all one, because they are our mothers of creation. And I just wanted to share that with you, that, we are all just one big family. We just lived on different parts of this, of the world. But we're all one family, 7 continents, 7 sisters, but they represent each one of them are our mothers of creation, our mothers of the stars. But I just wanted to reach out to all my sisters to say that, look, the women of the world have been oppressed for so long, but it's time, my sisters, it's time to rise up. It's time, to share your gifts. It's time to use your gifts in the right way, that that have been deprived and ripped of, and yeah, all these things that we hold within us, our powers, our gifts. It's time, my sisters. You know what I'm talking about. It's time. It's time to, to relight the fire, and it's time to share them. And I know yous are powerful. I know what yous can do. So I just wanted to share that with all my sisters, that we are family, and that, Warren Yiniga, all our mothers of the stars are always with us, and they're calling us back into our rightful position, because we were deprived and ripped of our, how can I say it, the balance of life. Mother was oppressed, and she was oppressed for so long, and it's time to bring the balance of creation back, mother and father creator, so my sisters, rise up. I just wanted to give a shout out to all my sisters, all my aunties, all my tribal elders, all my elders throughout, and all my sisters. I just wanted to give a cooey out to all the women out there, and to tell you that I love you. Karama Bukabe. That's me for the night. Mwah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think we could do it. It actually backs the government into a corner, because the government says, oh, we've got your representatives. No, we've only got one representative body. You come in the front door, and then we'll tell them, when you speak to the other people, you've got to talk to them through the front door. No more backdoor business, no more side door business. We all come in together, and we all sit down and talk. There'll be a lot of representatives from different areas, and people will know about this even after the fact. But we want the government to know that we've got our body now. We don't need our representatives. You come to that body when you want to talk to us, and don't talk to us through some advocate or anything.
Corporation.
A self-appointed body.
Yeah, like the indigenous ambassador. We got a new ambassador.
Oh, no.
Can you guys speak to that a little bit? The indigenous ambassador. Come on, let's get your perspective on that one.
the indigenous
I'd love to hear.
ambassador to the UN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got no bloodline here. He got no connection.
Yeah, we don't know who. Well, he meant to come from Gurungurun. He come from the Gurungurun tribe, apparently, but self-appointed. He was selected, not elected.
And it's funny, it comes from the Gurungurun. Gurungurun means nothing, eh?
Yahweh. Well, he's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, but this is how they go. They work. These are agents. They work for the corporate realm. That's yeah. That's just water off a duck's back. He should be ashamed of himself, but because at the end of the day, that position as an ambassador, he can't speak for all the tribes of this country. He's just one man being appointed by an Australian government, and to speak for all the tribes. It don't work like that.
No,
It's like one fiction supporting another.
And he knows it. Yeah, so he's over there signing the treaty, supporting this treaty process. It's like, yeah, at the end of the day, he's signing it for a corporation, not for the tribal people. So it's like, and the tribal people didn't give him consent to even, because if you have a look at the United Nations, there are no sovereign, there are no blackfellas sitting around that table. See, how are they to speak for this country? How are they to make informal decisions based on that they don't have any sovereign representative? I'm talking about the origines, the tribal sovereign people of this land. There's no sovereign sitting at that table at the UN, yet every other nation is sitting there. But yet none of our people. So how is that even lawful in itself? It's just fiction. They're making it up as they go along.
How do you do that? What we've got to do is send him an affidavit with all the tribal elders with their thumbprint on it. And who gave you permission?
Yahweh. That's what we were going to do at this meeting.
Yeah.
Because he's making decisions about this country, thinking, and these other countries are thinking that we have elected him. It's like, brother, you don't speak for us. You speaking for government. You're not speaking for the tribal people. There's a big diff here, So, yeah, but he has to be pulled up, and he's got to cease and desist. We didn't give you authority.
That's right.
So that's a matter that we have to deal with at this meeting. Also, at the gathering, we have to discuss that ambassador. But but at the end of the day, he works for them, because it doesn't matter about anything. Because if this comes into existence, which it will, then everything they're doing does not matter.
Null and void.
Null and void, invalid, belligerent.
That's correct.
Nothing. It'll be void and empty. So this is why this tribal governance and getting the support of the Australian people to help bring all of our elders together is the new way forward. We are creating a new realm, everybody. We are creating a new way forward for the future of this country and the future of our children. But we're going to do this as a family. So please, all you people out there calling yourselves, you want to walk this land with it, be a part of the tribes. Stop calling yourselves sovereign citizens. They can take their citizenship back. Just give it back to them. The reason why they don't like, when you see when white fellas are out there and the sheriffs and they're protecting the tribal people, and they're standing up, is because why they lock up all of these, the white fellas or any of them want to protect black fellas and stand up for us, because they're saying, no, you don't belong to them tribal people. You don't belong to black fellas. You belong to us. You are British subjects. You belong to us. You belong to the corporate. You belong to the crown. See, they think they own yous, and they don't. But we're saying to yous, they don't own you. You belong to the tribal people of these lands, because you're living upon tribal lands, and we want to welcome you into our families that they can't. And that's the reason why they grab yous all the time, because they think they own yous, because you belong to them as British subjects. But if you say, no, I'm adopted into this family, I belong to a tribe, then they have no power over you.
Yeah,
And you know
exactly
what?
the same way.
Thank
Exactly the same
goodness
way.
that, yes. And that's
Exactly the
why,
same way. I'll let you go.
yeah,
Exactly
and
the
they
same
use, pardon?
way. Exactly the same. Sorry to butt in, but it's exactly the same way, Madam Go, with us welcoming people up and things. We did our community engagement, and we
Mm,
took people, welcomed the country proper way, where
yeah.
we told them about the land. We got to look after the land together, look after country together.
Mm,
That's
And
right.
the other thing is that we've got people that come to ceremony, white fellows that come to ceremony, and they're changed people now.
But they're family too.
They're family to us,
Yeah.
just like Brother Betty there. He's family too.
And wow, what an amazing experience it was. And you know, there's no trolls anymore.
Mm.
mm,
You know,
mm.
things are just so different. And actually, I mean, what was it, Glenn? You asked me a little while ago, have you figured out what my totem was? Would you like to share with the people what happened while we were in ceremony?
Could I say that? You know about the bats flying upside down. Let's see, can I say that?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry, I just had to ask Errol permission
No, that's
because of
okay.
what we saw. Betty came up to Errol family country up at Warogame to a very, very special ceremony. I can't really go into the ceremony, what it was. Mark was a witness to that. And we just had a lot of strange things happening. And one thing that took my attention was one particular flying fox kept flying upside down and spinning around and looping the loop, and we had lightning in the northwest, and we had big Wandjina appearing in the northwest at the same time. But it was a women's ceremony, and the women were doing things, and we had a lot of changes there. But all we noticed that the flying foxes, they came southeast going due northwest again towards where the thunder was, but they did stop to say hello on the way through. And one of them took particular note. And after talking to Batty, I was thinking, well, Batty, is that might have something to do with you, you know?
Mm.
So I guess they told us, answered that question as to what the totem was, as if what was on my arm wasn't strong enough influence to begin with. So because I didn't even notice that. It's only because I heard you mob, talking about it afterwards. I'm like, wow, if that isn't a sign, I don't know what is.
Mm. So just going back to, sorry, Uncle Glennie and Mark, and I'm just going back to this gathering. We sent out a sponsorship letter. So there was a sponsorship letter that was sent out to a few of the tribal elders. Our elders, many of them are not, tech savvy. So it's good to help them and stuff like that. But the sponsorship letter, we created a sponsorship letter to go out to local businesses, far and wide, for any assistance, vouchers, buses and all of this, to bring all the tribal elders in. And but Mark, if we share the sponsorship letter with you, we did it, with them Dakadala. We would like to just share the sponsorship letter and send it out. So if anyone wants to, send it out to local businesses in their area and go and have a yarn with many of the tribal elders that do want to come to the gathering. The more tribal elders we have from every nation, every tribe, is even more powerful. It will be so powerful bringing all our people together. And just to, I know I shouldn't share this, but Uncle Errol, can I share this one bit about all the Yidakis, please?
There you go. Do it.
Okay. So when all the tribes come together, all the men will be playing the Yidaki at the same time to send the frequency and the vibration back through the land, to call out to everyone to come together in spirit. because once all the Yidikis come together and their frequency goes out and the land starts vibrating again, we're going to awaken something so powerful that, you know, I hope that government building in Canberra splits in two. But anyways, I'm just saying that the frequencies, the spiritual frequencies, and these waves will go so far that even our people and everyone will feel it, because something will be awakened in this gathering, and we need to do this together, you know. And yeah. But anyways, I just wanted to share about that.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. So, if you guys don't have anything you really want to sort of focus on regarding sort of this, there's been quite a few questions I've kind of starred we can sort of look at. A question I'd like to start with is, do you want me to show the image of this invitation you sent me to the world, or should we just stick with perhaps sharing the email and then you can sort of choose who you want to send it?
No, share the poster. Show the world.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I ask permission before I go ahead doing these things. So this is the current flyer. Everybody have a good look. This is what's going down. The what, where, why, where, and how. You know, there's a details there for if you'd like to contribute some coin. The email there, wargamay.tribalcouncil@gmail.com is written there. I'll also drop that into the comments should you guys want to work on that, because if your spelling sucks as bad as mine, you're going to have no hope of spelling Wargamay. Even when it was written in front of me, I still get it wrong. So if you want to reach out to people, or you know your own local mob, and you want to let them know what you guys are seeing here, pass on the email and they can get in touch and whatnot. Share the shit out of this, nationwide, because obviously we want to reach as many people, not people, humans. I got to get out of the habit of using that word. As many humans as possible need to sort of hear about this. And when it comes to contributing, like's been stated a few times, it's not about the cash. It's about what can you do. And what I've said so many times on this podcast. Get that Michael Jackson moment happening. Go and be the man in the mirror and ask yourself, what can you do to be that change? And obviously my contribution to this whole thing is my camera, the network that I've created for the people. And I love that so many people are utilizing the network I've created for the people so that they can have a true voice here, and that's my contribution, is to turn up, witness as much as I can. I'm blessed to be a part of this, and to be able to document it and bring it to the larger community who might not be able to make it for whatever reason. Just as we've seen with Canberra, there was so many people that chipped in whatever they could, like as the convoys came through. It was absolutely astounding to see how many people put on barbecues, and you just meet people in a service station, they'd see the signage on the side of the bus and go, oh look, I wish I could be there. Look, here's a few bucks to help you out with some fuel, because you're being the voice that I can't be today, and that was real, spirit of the land coming through at that time, I thought. And we can do it again. We've done it once. We can do it again.
I read comments there. I was reading a couple of comments there, and someone said, can they recommend someone to organise a gathering? It's already been organised. The gathering has already been organised, so they don't need anyone to Wagamay is actually already organised most of what's happening right now, so it's already organised. It's just the people need to come. Our tribal elders, we just need to get all our tribal elders there. There will be trust me, there will be a lot of other tribal people that are coming to help, cook and do what we need to do for our tribal elders, because, so the organising itself is through Wagame, the tribal council, and with Wagame, Wagame people, and we just all got to show up. We just got to come, like all our people, our tribal elders. We just got to show up.
No, true.
For sure.
Just to reiterate with what we've been talking about, so we're just looking for any support that anybody out there that can help with bringing our tribal elders together for this momentous occasion, and I think that it's going to be beneficial for everyone in this country. I believe so. If anybody can help. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's history in the making. People are going to look back on this like they did, many other great movements, but this is something that is way overdue, and it's about, it's spirit. It's about the spirit of this land, and it's about bringing, the tribal people and putting them back in their rightful position as the tribal elders. And I think it's the right way. I think it's the right way, and it's a respectful way. And the rest of the world is going to see it. The rest of the world is going to see that, we have actually done the right thing of bringing all our tribal elders together. And if we can actually because every consulate, every embassy, and every sovereign nation will know about this gathering. And they're going to say, because when I spoke to those that are in influential positions, they said, if you could show the world, especially, that you have a tribal government, then they haven't got a leg to stand on, more or less. And it's way overdue, and it's what they've always been afraid of. Australia, my people, this is what they're afraid of a tribal elders governance being established upon this continent. It must be done. We must do it to move and create a new way forward for the future of our children. And this is the right way, everybody. It's time, it's time to stop the bullshit. This is the right way. We don't need to be arguing about who's who at the zoo and who owns what. Nobody owns the land. Creator Spirit and Mother owns everything. We just belong to the land. We are the caretakers of the land. This ownership was introduced to this country. We own nothing. We belong to the land. We are one with the land. We are connected to the land. Nobody owns it. Whoever put a price, whoever they were that put a price on Mother, to be able to live freely as men and women of the land. I just want to choke that person. Whoever put a price upon a life and to live, I just can't. Yeah. So sad.
Yeah, that's right. And it's like when the time comes, and once I show you, once we get together, it'll show you that the land owns you.
Yahweh.
Yes.
Yes.
But that'll be shown once we all get together.
Yahweh. Yeah.
So-
but bless you.
I was going to say, is this a good time to bring in some of these questions?
Yeah, go on, hit us.
All right.
Not too hard. Not too hard.
Well, I didn't write the questions. I'm just reading them. So, Catherine here says, so I am mulling over what Cindy said. May I ask, are the Department of Justice trying to label you all misinformation spreaders?
Yeah, DCJ is more or less saying that this is a sovereign citizens movement, and we are not sovereign citizens. We are tribal people to the land. And they tried to make out and call it an anti because they thought that NDA and what we're doing now was all white people, that they were all anti, and that this was all white people. Well, hello, we're not. We're blackfellas. So that's what DCJ tried to make out, that we weren't, that we were anti-sovereign citizen, that this wasn't blackfellas, that these were white fellas, and this was all gammon, and we just wanted to put DCJ back in their place and to say, well, hello, here we are, and we're tribal people. We're not, what you say we are, and believe it or not, NDA, we have got people that a little admin team, and NDA is not all black fellas. The admin team, we got white fellas in there in the admin team that do a lot of good work for our people, that are helping our people. So yeah, so they are working actually with us and beside us. They're not in front, they're not at the back. We're all working together side by side. So I just wanted to just clarify that. Yeah, but thank you for the question, sis.
Ruby 1, you are speaking such strong truth. How can we all help get this happening?
Where there's a sponsorship letter that we've drafted up, that we all had input in, and we will share that with Mark, and whatever way that you can help in your community, wherever you're living, and if you know the tribal elders, and if anyone else wanna, Uncle Errol.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. So, no. This is what it's all about. If people can help, they can help. But if they can't, they can't. But any form of assistance be greatly appreciated to get our tribal elders here.
Yeah.
That's helping us is helping you too at the same time.
Yeah, way.
Things will change.
Yep. And by the way, Uncle Errol and I are all in Queensland. I'm in the Northern Territory. and Uncle Earl, whereabouts are you?
In Queensland.
He's in Queensland, and we had Uncle Stephen that was in the background. I don't know if he's still online, but he's on Bundjalung country, New South Wales.
He's listening in the background. I unable to figure out how to get the microphone and the camera working based on what I'm seeing. So we might have to see what we can do to try and perhaps rectify that in future. So
yeah. So we've got many elders. Sorry, Mark. Keep going with the questions.
All good, all good. So respect to those here. Question, did any elders have say in the 15 Queensland locations given back to native title, or was it the Indigenous Corporation pulling strings?
It's the Indigenous Corporation pulling strings, I think.
Yeah.
They'll always pull strings when you're getting paid, So nothing is even, because they never ever acknowledged any tribal elders.
Yeah, that's the same through our native title. They didn't want to acknowledge our tribal elders. The tribal elders wanted to speak, and they wanted. They were telling them that they wanted to do it our way, the tribal way, and for our lands. But they wanted to do. They had to sign the ILUA and do it their way,
But
the government's
see,
way.
that's right. And see, what it is, it's the dead trying to play with the living. That's
Yahweh.
all it is in the spiritual world.
Mm,
But how can the dead talk? So there's corruption straight up there. So that when they say corporation, that actually means corruption.
Mm.
And
and a dead
that's
corpse.
yes.
See, yeah, sorry. I just want to just clarify something with Chris here, when he said, "Did any elders have a say in 15 Queensland cases?" Giving back to a lot of the times, our people are backed into a corner to take something of the land because we can't get the land. Otherwise, if you can't get back through their way, through native title, they don't give you any other options. This is why we have to do it this way through our tribal elders who have the authority in this country. So, yeah, that's what it is. The PBCs and stuff, the prescribed body corporates under the land councils that are more or less doing the government's work or their work.
I think it's a good place to sort of insert one of my own questions, which was during that voice thing, I'm under the impression that, you know, elements of the Labor government and various other bodies approached some of the elders and whatnot, and basically, you know, conversed about that. Did you want to share anything regarding how that went down?
So just repeat the question again. Sorry, Mark.
So I believe, like, you know, members of the Labor government, when leading up to the voice, approached, you know, elders and tribal people to sort of gauge, you know, how you guys were going to receive it. Is there anything you'd like to share about, you know, what was said, you know, between the parties?
We had no engagement.
No engagement at all.
We had no engagement.
And Widjabul had no engagement.
Yeah.
The Bundjalung had no engagement. Many of the tribes had no engagement in regards to the referendum, you know?
So at no point did they consult with indigenous peoples. They've just basically, or the tribes at all, sorry. Stop using the word bloody people, hey. So at no point they approached you. They didn't speak to you at all. They didn't ask, hey, how do you think this would go down? This is the wording. We think. What do you think? There was no engagement at all.
Well,
No, yep. Go ahead.
What they did was send out invitations. Like, they went to capital cities and the satellite cities, and they held meetings. But people attending those meetings, which I think, Earl, you know about this, people attending those meetings were told that the discussions were only being held in a certain framework. Anything outside that framework was not to be discussed. So we went there people had gone to these places thinking that there was input, but there was no input. There was already a chart already drawn up, a course, a directive. And what they were trying to do was just possibly just tell people what they're doing.
Yeah, one way.
Yeah, one-way street. It was their way, and there was no other way. And it was like not everybody agreed to the Makarrata, you know? And it was like, because it wasn't all of a nationwide input. It was one group that put all this together, that was actually aligning themselves with the new agenda, you know, and with the government creating a new constitution. Now, if anyone's seen this document of their new constitution, you will all roll over in your grave. Well, our ancestors would be rolling over if that new constitution came into play, because I've got a copy of it.
That sounds like a whole new podcast to be had, almost, to discuss what that constitution is.
Oh, I tell you, I thank you to everybody. I just want to thank you know,
how can I say it, our ancestors, and thank our lucky stars, because all our ancestors of the stars, because I'll tell you what, it'll be a different story if that would have went through. So give yourselves a little pat on the back for saying no to the referendum, because what was coming. But they're going to push it. They're pushing again. They're coming through another back door. So be ready. And this is why we need to be creating a new way forward now, because they're already got other tricks up their sleeves ready to fire again. And they're going to use anything and everything to get what they want. So we got to be ready, Australia. We got to be ready, my people.
Well, the whole world, really, because, I mean, you know, and it's not just, you know, this specific, the topic that we're discussing here today, but they're clearly throwing everything and the kitchen sink, you know, at us at this point. You know, dirty dishes, you know, handfuls of dirt, you know, they're busted shoelaces, whatever they can find in their pockets. They are chucking at the whole world right now in, you know, a desperate attempt to maintain their control and their fundamental power structure.
Well, what they're doing is they're actually using their dollar to persuade a lot of corrupt people, or corrupt men, women, you know. So they will put their hand out to collect a few dollars to tell lies. And this is the biggest thing. When you're playing with people like that, and foreign ones who think they can talk for this land or any land, anywhere, they will go and do it. They think the money's going to save them, but the money, you can burn that paper and it goes to nothing. You can put a fire on the land and the land's still there. So they bribe you with the dollar. And then they turn around and they say to you, we want a treaty. How can you treaty when they can only give you paper? You got the land. So you got so many people, they think they can treaty with that dollar. You can't do nothing with that dollar. It's worth nothing. And this is what they got to understand, but they're using other people to try and talk for country when they're not even from here. They're all foreigners. And this is the biggest problem what we got, not only here, but all over the world.
You have to start winding down a bit too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just dropped out.
You all right?
Yeah. Well, everybody, I might have to wind down because I've just got to be somewhere shortly.
No, you're all right, mate. All good.
All right.
Look, we're, you know, I think we've kind of covered most things. We might just I'll just have a quick squiz at a couple of questions that I think should be answered. Covered the when is this happening?
It's happening next month
Yeah, it's on
on the
flyer.
19th. Yeah, it's on the flyer. All the information's on the flyer. It's for all our tribal elders. But if it's all Australians and, you know, many that want to support, then we need to be supporting to find a way and helping for all our tribal elders from across this continent to be at the Wagamay gathering for all the tribal elders together. You know, and it's secret business, everyone. Just remember that it's secret business. It's for our tribal elders to all come together, and let's just help that process of bringing them together, but being respectful and mindful that it's their business and they will be discussing the future of this country.
That's them.
Here's more of a comment to sort of, you know, just emphasize the power of your words here. That, you know, Adrian says that was so powerful. I'm still in tears. So well said, Sister Mebangari.
Mebangari.
Mebangari,
Yeah.
sorry.
My name in language means woman eagle. I am the woman eagle. That is what my name is. That's my skin. When I leave this world, that's a family I go back to. I go back to the eagle family. That is the circle of life.
Steve is asking, where are all the elders located to organise transportation? Let's just say the whole country. There's
The whole country.
Yeah, that's like, you know, the 369 tribal nations in this continent, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
So
We got a big
yeah,
job to do.
that's a lot.
Well, I seen Creator Spirit bring Canberra together, bring them from everywhere. Well, let's see what Spirit can do again when we all, come together in unity to make this happen.
Yep.
Donovan was saying, Mebangari, please remind the Shillingsworth clan that we must all do this together, no disrespect, but Buddy has caused a lot of confusion for many of us that got close to you all.
Yeah, well, Buddy doesn't speak for all of us. Buddy just speaks for his family. That's all I got to say.
If elders, says Wu Sooty, asks, if the elders stand up and say they are sovereign, are they going to be called right-wing extremists? It's an interesting question. It's probably more of a what-if scenario, but hey, wouldn't that be funny?
Well, that's an easy one, right? Our sovereignty is in the land, right? We belong to the land. The land is always sovereign. No one owns it. You see, this
That's
ownership
right.
is, but as custodians, as the caretakers, the progenitors of that law to look after your land, then the sovereignty lays in the land. It doesn't lay in the people. Everything you are is because of the earth. You eat from the earth. Everything that is ever made is from the earth. So it's not really about our sovereignty. Forget that. It's about the earth's sovereignty. We've got to respect that because our sovereignty
Yeah.
comes from, you see?
Yeah, that's right, Uncle Glennie. That's beautifully said.
Yeah, we got to take us out of the picture of this all the time. I mean, that's where the problem starts, us, right? That we might be under slavery, we might be under all these things, but what about the earth? No one says anything,
That's
about the earth. You can see the changes now. And you're surprised. Who goes out and says hello to the trees? I'm serious. Who goes out and looks after the animals? When the fires are burning, them koalas, I'm still crying. They come running out on fire. Koalas on fire. Did you know a koala's got a lot of human DNA in it? Why has it got to be always about us? Ronald Reagan, the American president, he said maybe we need an external influence like aliens invading Earth for man to wake up that what he's got to look after. We poison the earth, we poison ourselves, and the earth is getting poisoned. I'm not talking about climate change. We're talking about environmental impact here, and that's flowing. If you poison the earth, you poison us. Everything is getting poisoned here. Why does our rights come first? This is what I don't understand. When everything you are, everything you can be, and everything you will be comes from the earth because you rely on the earth for everything. You can't eat your house. You can't eat your car. You can't eat your pillows and your blankets. When everything is gone for you and you got no food on the table, you go back to the earth and there's nothing there because it's poisoned too. Why are we always thinking about us? And we're not new age environment. Get that out of your heads. We're not new age environment. We just know we've been watching this land, and I tell you, it's been dying for a long time. If you're not looking at it, you're looking at it the wrong way. It's trying to tell you something.
That's
You don't have eyes and the ears to see and hear it, right? So if you want to know the truth, be simple about the truth. Be simple about everything you do. And this is what we're saying. It's not always about us. Everyone's concerned about their freedom, but our freedoms depend on the earth's freedom. You shackle the earth, you might as well shackle us too. And that's what's happening. How are we going to do this? It's that simple, but everyone wants an educated guess. Well, we're not getting any educated. That's what got us in the mess in the first place. Can't we just be simple? Even the carpenter from Galilee, Christ, he talked simple to people. He spoke in parables so people could understand the true essential meaning of what he was trying to say. So how simple can you get like that? Look after the earth. You look after who knows how to look after this earth here? We do. Listen to us. We'll all be right. We could all hold hands and walk forward. Otherwise, forget it. It's just about journeying on from this point. And we got everything that comes, either. Let's see how far this human experiment will take us. If it won't look good, we're not coming together. Have you seen Philadelphia? Have you seen Detroit? Have you seen France? In Switzerland? Something's wrong, but like I said, we're still putting bandages over fucking tumors.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're taking.
Yeah, that's right.
We're taking headache tablets for cancer. We've got to come back. Got to do things right.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
But we know about that. So don't look at us as uneducated or we need to do this, we need to do. That's what got us in the trouble in the first place. Keep it simple. Keep it real simple. Keep it straight. Otherwise, the ball will drop. The ball will drop. You know?
Yeah.
I got to say, I thought that idea that you guys were the new age environmentalists just about put me on the floor laughing. You know, there was a great control I had to exert there by not falling off the chair laughing, because you guys are actually probably the original environmentalists when you think about it. You know, like it's you know, it's I don't know, the word conservative's probably not appropriate, but the original conservationists in trying to preserve culture, land, all those things, you know. Like, I mean, to me,
that's exactly
conservative
right.
and, you know, and conservation is fundamentally the same thing. You're trying to preserve something that was, and wow, trying to preserve one of the oldest cultures alive.
Yeah, but not only that, like, we're trying to preserve Mother Earth. We're trying to look after Mother so she can sustain us for future generations. Like Uncle Glennie said, sometimes it's not always about us. You know, we got to get away from that. It's about looking after Mother, looking after creation, and so we can preserve her for future generations. Why can't we just work on that together, that we can still have water to drink, we can still eat from the land, you know, we can do all these things, but this corporation, this government, and these world leaders, they don't want that. They don't want us to be drinking, you know, pure, clean water, or they want us in slavery. They want to give us what they want to feed us. They want to, you know what I mean? They want to, you know, yeah, they want to enslave us and take orders from them. And yeah, it's just they just want to control us of what we eat, you know, of what we drink. They want to control the food industry, the resources. They want to control everything about us. But we have to do something now to say no. And this is the only way that we could actually create something to stop them, that it doesn't come to that, because this is where we're heading if we don't do something now. I'm not always, you know, I don't have the right words off the top of my head, but in my heart and my mind, my spirit, I know what I'm saying.
That's all good. I think you say it quite well. Although I think you might have your camera turned around. I think we're looking the wrong way. I see the back here. I see your hand.
Yeah, is this my camera? Right there.
Hang on, it's
just. Right. Yeah,
I think
because
it might have flipped. Oh, hang on. No, I think you're just very dark. Oh, there we go. Yeah, just couldn't quite see you. Very dark.
I'm in the car, so I do apologise, but I'll be 2 secs.
Nah, you're right. All good. All good. There
Yeah.
was a question back here like ages ago. Like the comments are just rolling here. Martin, Batty, when we are controlled by government that isn't listening to the people, how will our Indigenous family be heard by these tyrants? Well, in a sense, we're starting right here, right now with this particular podcast, and there's, yeah,
That's right.
488 that's being counted. I'm not sure on what's going on Rumble, but we're probably close to about 1,000 people live at the moment. Yeah, actually, we're over 1,000 people watching live. And the more you guys spread this around, it can't be stopped. You know, download it, share it if you have to. You know, archive it if it gets taken down. You know. Share the shit out of it. That's how you get. I mean, to me, I can't help but think that obviously people coming together and doing good things must be some kind of a threat. Otherwise, they wouldn't stop us from fucking doing it all the time.
That's exactly right. Because unity, they're afraid of unity. They're afraid of the people coming together like we once were, our ancestors once were, before we were all colonised. You know, they don't want it because then they can't control us. So if you bring together, remember that we outnumber them. I'm not saying that we're going to war because we're going to do this in peace, you know, and in love. But remember, we are the majority. We are not the minority. The people are the majority.
That's it. So I think we should probably wrap it up around there. We are at, you know, like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's been an epic conversation. Thanks heaps to everyone for coming on board. Whether, you know, you're obviously amazing people for coming and share this astounding gathering. The idea of the tribes coming together for the first time in this way is just mind-blowing, and it's certainly something that I've always thought, wow.
Yeah, and see, this has never been when they brought together the Makarrata and the Uluru and all that. They didn't ask for any of this. They didn't ask for a big cooey out of all that because they didn't want this, because they wanted to be in control. And if the government knew that all the tribal elders were coming, well, they wouldn't have had it they wouldn't have had it their way, and they still don't have it their way, and they're still trying to get it their way, you know? So they're still wanting it, and they're still coming through the back door. They're still trying to push through other mechanisms, through other tools, you know. Treaty? We can't treaty with the dead. Yeah. The tribal people are living. We cannot treaty with a corporation. You cannot. The living and the dead cannot treaty.
Well, I went to a meeting, and and when I turned around and said to them, I didn't know who I was really talking to, but they had them from Toowoomba and everywhere else. And I told them, and I said, we can't treaty with you. You've got nothing to treaty with us. I said, but they only asked, I only was notified maybe once, and I wasn't allowed, well, they never notified me to any more meetings. Because what I was saying is, I said, what can you give us? They had nothing to give us. So they wanted from us.
Yeah. The treaty.
They didn't say what they was going to. They wanted us to give, but they never said what they was going to give us.
Awesome deal.
Yes. And
yeah.
So
it's all about them. It's all take. There is no giving from them. All the resources of this land, they take. We should be a wealthy country. We're not. We're all living in poverty, and it's getting worse off. And they continue to take and steal from the people, including taxes, which is an illegal process in this country, full stop.
No, that's right. And but it's all they're all going down now, and they will.
Yep, their ship is. Yep,
Sorry.
their ship is sinking.
Well, that's right. And the thing
They
is,
haven't got enough band-aids for all the holes they put in it.
well, it's,
Yeah.
in saying all that, and if you aren't going to do the right thing in the first place, and if you haven't done it, you will never ever do it.
That's exactly right, Uncle Earl.
This
And
is
that-
what we're looking at,
Mm.
and it's sad because the reason being is at the moment in what they're doing, they're using their security to do what they're doing.
Yep. Yep.
Well, okay then. We might wrap it up. All the details
Yep.
are there. Just having a conversation, folks. I hope you are all listening, and I hope that you take it to your dreams tonight. And well, we'll
Sorry,
see
they
what
wanted
tomorrow
the-
brings. See what
Got it,
tomorrow
Uncle.
brings.
Okay,
Yep.
then.
Definitely.
Good night, and love you all.
No, thanks heaps for coming on. Here's the flyer again. Look, guys, if anybody wants it, you can either email me, North Queensland Freedom Network at protonmail.com, and I can send it to you, or you can just go straight to the source and hit up the Waugamay Tribal Council at gmail.com. You know, obviously the spelling's up there on the screen. I'll see if I can. Did I save it? Actually, you know what? I'll just make sure I copy it. I'm going to punch it into the comment section again. So that you have all got it. Again, feel free to contact me. You like all my links are in the description, if that helps. Hopefully it does. You know, if you reach out to me, I'm not hard to find. I'm all over the internet. You know, if you can't get a hold of the Waugamay Tribal Council at gmail.com for whatever reason. So yeah, nice and easy. Surely we can figure it out some way, shape or form if you want to contribute. Everybody, thank you so much for coming on and utilising this network for its intended purpose.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you, Mark. I want to say thank you to all my elders that came on board, and thank you to Waugamay. And I just want to say thank you to all the listeners out there, you know, for listening to our people and just supporting, you know, what needs to be done in this country. And we all, at the end of the day, we all want freedom. We all want to be free men and women of the land like our ancestors were once upon a time ago. You know, let's create that new way forward. But I just want to say good night to everyone, Garama Bugabeh, and thank yous. Thank you, Mark, for your platform.
No
Thank you
worries.
very
It's my pleasure.
Good night, everyone.
Take
Yeah,
care,
way.
guys. Have a good one.
Bless yous. Good night.
Good night.
Right.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for, you know, persevering and learning and coming along with this journey. I know it started off with a lot of questions, you know, that, you know, are all very valid questions. There's a lot of concern and whatnot, and I think we've done a great job addressing all those questions and dealing with, you know, concerns. Hopefully, you know, if there are more questions and concerns regarding, you know, what our Indigenous brothers and sisters are trying to achieve. I thought the message was pretty clear myself, but if you're still not quite sure and you have any concerns, you're afraid or scared because of, past grievances or shit that you've heard on the media or whatever, feel free to reach out, It's not hard. One more time, NQ Freedom Network at protonmail.com. I tell you every time, it's in the description. You know what's going on. Of course, don't hesitate to become a Patreon. There's going to be some cool stuff in the background coming up soon. And wow, you've seen just a taste of what we're going to achieve with this next upcoming Indigenous documentary. We're going to add more to it with with what's coming up. So by all means, reach out in any way, shape or form. Help out wherever you can. And look, at the very least, go and have a good hard look at yourself in the mirror and ask, what can I do to be the change? Because that's what it's all about. Everyone working together, making this current shit slide, because we're sliding down. And I'm looking down at this, it should be a water slide, but it's a shit slide. And there's a big pile of shit at the bottom of it. I want to get off. I don't know about you, but, let's do something. What else can we do? What have we got to lose at this point? My time and this, has been astounding with these people. It's been absolutely amazing. So, and I can't wait to get back out on country. I think it's going to be awesome, So, yeah. Stick along for the ride, people. Hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I certainly hope it's helped, the cause and get us all closer to the freedom that we're all looking for, eh? So, till next time, nanu nanu.